Greetings, my name is Cameron and I'm doing a series of how-to videos for the Pokemon Stories role-playing game. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make your own Pokemon and add it to the utility. So, the Pokemon I chose to do was Doduo. It's my own original Pokemon. I want it to be a baby Pokemon that evolves into Doduo, which then evolves into Dodrio as usual. The first step is to actually find the image. I drew this myself, and I added it in Paint, and I'm going to save it. I'm going to name it doduo.png. Nothing else, just exactly what I'm going to call it in the utility. So, save. I already have it in here, but next step is going to be to code it in. I'm going to put it in the mypokemon.json file. I put a bunch of JSONs to store all the different Pokemon, and I think this is the one where it best fits. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy Doduo's information because I'm going to be making changes to it in this file. So I'm going to copy and paste that into here. And then I'm also going to copy and paste the template for Doduo. So, start here. The quotation marks are to hold the Pokemon's name, Doduo. And then the Pokedex ID is 950. I just picked a random number because it doesn't have an official one. Short description is the few words that describe it. So Doduo is the twin bird Pokemon, Dodrio is the triple bird Pokemon. I'm going to make this the lonely bird Pokemon. Long description is going to be its Pokedex entry. I wrote that up ahead of time. I'm just going to copy and paste it in here to save time. Doduo are capable of flight shortly after hatching. However, they never truly excel at it the way other bird Pokemon do. Shiny? By default that's false. I could put it to true if this were to be a Pokemon that is always shiny, such as a radioactive muck, or some other weird variant. Red Gyarados would be another example. But it's not, so shiny is false. It's also not a legendary Pokemon, so I'm going to leave that as false as well. Its typing is the same as Doduo's, normal and flying. And its egg groups, since it's a baby Pokemon, I'm going to put none. If it were capable of breeding, I would look up another Pokemon that I wanted it to be able to breed with and copy the egg group for that. Gender, by default, it has a 50-50 chance of being male or female. That's the same as Doduo, but if I wanted to change those, I could. Evolution. Now, I played the Pokemon Snap game, and I loved it that, say, Magnemite, you combine 3 of them to get a Magneton, and that's how Magnemite evolved. Same with Slowpoke and catching a Shelter to become a Slowbro. So I implemented that in the game, and I'm going to do that with Doduo. Combine 2 of them to get a Doduo. Next evolution, obviously, Doduo. Ability. A lot of flying Pokemon have the Airborne ability, which lets them fly over the battlefield and makes them a bit faster. Since I said Doduo are capable of flight, I'm going to give them Airborne. Now, Doduo, not a very good flyer, it doesn't have that, but it has 2 heads, so it will have Vigilant. But abilities can change between evolutions. Now the IVs. These are the initial values, your Pokemon's base stats. These will all be multiplied by 10 in the program. Speed, I see this as being average speed Pokemon. Strength, I'm going to give it a little bit higher strength. Sense, it's young and stupid. It also doesn't have the multiple heads, so it can't see as well as its evolutions. It's going to have pretty low sense, and not too great of mind either. This stat set up makes it a good brawler, high speed and strength, but not a very good ranged attacker. Moves list, I'm going to want a list of about 10 to 12 moves, maybe 13. I wrote those up ahead of time, so I'm just going to copy and paste those. And whenever you're making a Pokemon, the first 2 moves are the most important. Now, if you generate a Pokemon at the starter challenge rating, it's only going to have the first 2 moves on the Pokemon's list. And in this case, you want those both to be natural, and you want to make sure you give it some basic tactical variety So if those are the only two moves the Pokemon knows, it at least has some options. So maybe you're going to want a melee attack and a ranged attack, or maybe you're going to want an attack and a status effect move, or maybe an attack move and a buff move. But whatever, it should have at least one move that can do damage, and one move that's different from the damaging move. So in this case, Talon and Feather Dance are a good combo. I also gave it Low Kick, because I like giving that to baby Pokemon, a kick in the nuts. And also, this is a single kick. Doduo has double kick, and Dodrio has triple kick, so that's a nice 1, 2, 3. It's a cute Pokemon, so I gave it a couple of Fairy-type moves, Baby Doll Eyes, and Fairy Wind. I also gave it Peck, Pluck, Quick Attack, Fly, Fury Attack, and Sentry. All moves which I thought fit it. And since it's the first evolution, probably going to have low stats, I gave it the most low-powered moves. Middle evolutions get middle power moves, and the final evolutions get the most powerful moves. If it were something like Farfetch that only has one evolutionary form, it's going to have a broader spectrum. So, that finishes off Doduo. Now Doduo is going to be changed. And one thing that's going to change is its method. So, now it evolves by combining the two-headed bird with the one-headed bird to get a three-headed bird. Also, it now has a prior evolution, so I'm going to write that in. None of this other information changes, but I am going to change its stats. Now we have a nice progression. Doduo has one head and 1 sense. Doduo gets another head, better at seeing, 2 cents. Dodrio is going to have 3 cents and 3 heads. And I like that. I'm going to change up its moves slightly. Since it is now the middle evolution instead of the first, I wanted to have a little bit more powerful moveset to fit with its higher stats that it will likely have. So, I'm going to change this to Pluck as a more powerful starting move. I'm going to change Pluck into Claw. And I'm going to change the very weak Fury Attack into a much more powerful Drill Peck. Now that's a 90 power move, probably a bit high for something that's not the final evolution, but given that it's a flying type with high strength, it won't have too much of a problem using Drill Peck. So, that done, I'm going to save it, and I'm going to open my utility. Now, I'm going to look up Doduo and Doduo and make sure that they're working correctly. Okay, that's going to be a problem, and how's Doduo looking? Also a problem. So I'm going to go to inspect, check my console, uncaught syntax error, invalid or unexposed. My Pokemon.json, line 100. So go back to the utility. Line 100 is right here. Oops, without a quotation mark. So, save it. Go back. And then refresh this. Check again. Okay, looking good, looking good. Pluck is a natural move. Quick Attack is a natural move. Natural. Natural, and everything's looking good. So, I'm done. That is it. That's how you make a Pokemon. Thank you for your time.